Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dorm Room Sports Podcast. My name is Garrett Thompson. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I was off for a little bit. I was away from the setup, so I wasn't able to record, but now we're back and we have the World Junior talk, right? So I want to talk mainly about the World Juniors, mainly about how everything's going. And we've had quite the tournament so far. Obviously, you've got your powerhouses in Canada, Finland, USA, Russia, Sweden, all the big boys, and then you've got your other teams like Germany, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Austria, and all those guys are trying to prove themselves right now. Switzerland, sorry. So Canada, that's who I'm going to talk about because that's the only team I care about. So they started off Boxing Day playing Germany, and real nail biter, 16-2 win for Canada. Real close one right down to the end. It was. I honestly Germany is Germany. You don't think that they're going to lose by that much, but wow, that was that was crazy, and it produced memes about German goaltending. It was an interesting game for sure. The only real team so far that's really given Canada any slack or any issues surrounding the game was Slovakia. It was 3-1, really close game. It was interesting. I was surprised it was 3-1. It wasn't they were in pulling the goalie territory to get back into the game. You never expect that over with a team like Canada. You expect it to them to walk teams until you play Finland, right? Or until you play a team that people know has a bit more of leverage in terms of tournament play. Teams like Canada played. It was a good game. It was a great game. Slovakia, their goaltender kept him in it the whole way. Then you play a team like Switzerland, and they rock them 10-0, right? So then you're kind of back to all right, this makes a bit more sense in terms of how Canada's going to play, how Canada's expected to play, if that makes any more sense, right? Canada's obviously 4-0, going into the quarterfinals against the Czech Republic, who they haven't played yet, obviously, because Czech Republic are in Group B, Canada's in Group A, so obviously during the preliminary round, you only play your group, right? And Canada's real test was coming up against Finland. And New Year's Eve, big game. Obviously, the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day games are always the big ones, right? You've got a team like Canada against a team like Finland, right? They made a good point during the broadcast of the game that Canada and Finland have won 6 of the last 7 World Junior gold medals. And so coming into it, you're all right, this is going to go to overtime. This is going to be a game where it's going to be all right, these guys are going to put the pedal to the metal and leave everything out there, right? Because you've got two teams that are absolutely unreal playing against each other. These are two countries other than Sweden and US and Russia, just absolutely a production line of NHL players, right? So you come into this game and you're all right, this is going to be a nail biter, and Canada wins 4-1. Not only that was probably one of the most dominant 4-1 wins I've ever seen in a game, because NHL anything. Because at the end of the first period, Canada had 17 shots, Finland had one shot on goal. And it wasn't even a shot. It was just a towards the net. A flutter right in. Dylan Levi's all right, I guess I can cover that up, and that's a shot. Good job, guys. That was the most dominant game I've ever seen Canada play. I've ever seen in an NHL. I've ever seen, ever. And it's against two teams, and it's between two teams that are supposed to be you're expecting 17-17, if anything. Or whatever, right? You're expecting, right on, neck and neck in terms of shots and scoring chances. Finland had a total of probably 20 shots in that whole game. I'm not the exact stats are not exactly in front of me, but I will give it credit to Finland's goaltender. He absolutely stood on his head. Yeah, it's a 4-1 game, but you're also facing plus 40 shots. My phone is going off, but you've got 40 shot. He's facing 40 shots. You let him 4 goals. Like, yeah, it's 4 goals, but like you're getting absolutely bombarded by a team that is in form. Like this team, like obviously Kirby Dach going out after a fractured wrist. He's out 5 months. Like that is, and in an exhibition game, like you hate to see that. Canada keeping his stall. He's the designated captain. Obviously, you see like guys like Dylan Cousins, who is wearing the C. He's an assistant, and they have to have a C for each game, right? They have to have a guy wearing the C. It's part of the rules. But he's obviously really stepped up, and I think he's done really well. He's second in the tournament in scoring behind Trevor Zegras. He's absolutely unreal. Trevor Zegras is scary, scary, scary good. Dylan Cousins is also scary, scary, scary good. His goal was he scored 2. He scored the empty netter and he scored the first goal. The first goal was an absolute snipe. He had the opening on the one-timer. If you guys watched the highlights or the game or whatever, he had the opening on the one-timer, but he decided to shoot it because the Finnish defenseman was lying down. And obviously in that kind of situation, the Finnish defenseman did everything right. He took the pass, and it's a riskier play to try to get it over the stick and get it like a perfect little flutter, like over the stick onto the tapes for a shot, but he decided to shoot it and he buried it. But honestly, Team Canada going into the quarterfinals against the Czech Republic, I'm not going to jinx it, but I would assume they'll win that game. And when they do, they've got a chance to play the U.S. in the semis. Now, here's the thing going into this tournament. I was talking about it, and I watched the U.S. play their preliminary round games, their exhibition game. They played against Russia. And that team moves very, very quickly. They are fast. Like, they're very fast. Obviously, Canada's absolute bullets, up and down, up and down, up and down, everywhere. Like, they're unreal team, obviously. And as a Canadian fan and as a hockey fan, I would think that Canada takes the game, and I'll tell you why, right? Obviously, if Canada can move past Czech Republic if they just play the way they've played, that's not a worry. It's the semifinals I'm worried about, because against the U.S., because you got Spencer Knight in net for the U.S. and Trevor Zegras, Cole Caulfield, all those guys, right? Like I can go on and on and on and list the whole U.S. roster about who Canada has to worry about, and I can list Canada's whole roster, but I did the goaltender mentality video, and I want to focus on the goaltending strictly because this is where it'll be at the end of the day, right? Now, here's my thing. I haven't played very high-level goalie, right? I played goalie. I absolutely immerse in it. If you know me, you know I absolutely love the position. I've got my goaltender helmet in my room. It should be in my hockey bag. I don't know why it's in my room, but it's in my room, right? I've got goaltending posts. I love the position, and I think I know it decently well. Like, I don't think you have to play super, super high level hockey to know the basics of being a goaltender and being able to play. Now, I've watched Dylan Levi play. He's very Carey Price. Like, that guy, I think he even said that Carey Price is his idol. But you watch him play, and it's just the movements are so Carey Price. It's absolutely unreal. Then you look at a guy like Spencer Knight. Now, Spencer Knight, I don't know who he really watched, but he's got some Carey Price elements in him, right? Like Dylan Levi, and like they're very calm, they're very locked into their positions. But the thing is, I've noticed about Dylan Levi over Spencer Knight is Spencer Knight doesn't look, right? Like when you're screened in front, you have to look and you have to guess the shot. He's very like still. And I think and just based on his play, he's obviously an incredibly good goaltender. He's put up incredible stats in NCAA D1. He's Florida Panthers. He's going to be the Florida Panthers starting goaltender or at least he's going to be on their roster within the next year, 2 years. I promise you that. I absolutely think so. Maybe he'll finish his 4 years at Boston College, but I honestly think that he will be in the NHL within the next 2 years, and if anybody says differently, they're stupid. But looking at, obviously with Canada and the US, you see that it's Canada US. It's going to be a great game. Like, obviously it's going to be a very, very close game. It's going to be like all Canada and US's top guys are going to be going at it. If this ever happens, I'll make a video just on that game because I'm talking about just them right now, but I'll make a video just talking about that and talking about the tournament in general because they've done a great job setting it all up, making sure everybody's safe. If you got COVID, you're not playing. Like, you're done. If you're at risk, they didn't let you play. They're making it very, very safe. Russia, Germany, is the other matchup in the quarterfinals. So you've got quarterfinals: Russia, Germany, Finland, Sweden, Canada, Czechs, and USA, Slovakia. That could be a decent game, actually. Slovakia has actually done pretty well in this tournament in terms of just they're surprising a lot of people, and I think they'll do pretty well. Looking at Finland, like I think it was Slovakia. No, sorry, it might have been Czech Republic who beat Russia. Czech Republic beat Russia. Sorry, yes, Czech Republic beat Russia, and that was very surprising because Russia's got Askarov, who's everybody was like, all right, they've got Askarov, they're going to do fine. He's played okay. I don't think he's played absolutely stand out. The only goalie who I think has played absolutely unreal in this tournament was Austria's goalie. After they got blown out, but the guy had like 60 shots, almost 70 shots. Like, come on, that's still like a what? That's over 915 save percentage, I think. I checked the math. I don't know it exactly, but what more do you want from your goalie? The kid stood on his head for like he held the team scoreless. He held scoreless after the first period. Like, come on, like what more do you want from the guy? Like, the guy's standing on his head. Obviously, they're not in the quarterfinals because the team in front of him is dumpster fire. But he stood on his head. Like anyways, the quarterfinals start tomorrow. Canada's playing Czech Republic, as I've said. Russia, Germany, Finland, Sweden. That's going to be a very, very good game. Finland, Sweden, because you're not hearing a lot because normally it's like you're focusing on like the big boys, right? The big teams. But right now, all everybody's been focusing on is how dominant Canada's been and how dominant like the Canada USA. You're not really talking like it's going to be a big. It's going to be a big quarterfinal. I'm interested to see how everybody does. So I'm going to probably try and make another video just strictly about what's going to happen, semifinals, finals, whatever, that kind of thing. But I want to talk a little bit. I'm going to switch gears completely because I've talked about strictly World Juniors in this video. I want to talk a bit about the NHL. So you've got a fixed 56-game schedule. You start on January 13th. That's in another week. Another week and a half. Week and a couple days. It's Friday. Oh, I'm so excited. The camps, the training camps are starting tomorrow. Some camps have already started already. Some camps, like the teams that didn't make the playoffs, started on the 30th. Teams who made the playoffs start today and tomorrow. Oh, baby. My team, this team right here, I kind of like them. I think they'll do well. I want to make like an actual like start up to the NHL video next week, but I honestly really want to see them do well this year. There's a lot of teams that I think are going to do great. There's a lot of teams that, like, we'll line it up. We'll talk about the trades and the pickups and everything like that. But this is just a brief one. I really think that I think the Leafs will do well. I really do. I think they're a past the first round team. Yeah, that little conversation. We'll talk about that too. But honestly, I think that the Leafs can do well this year. I think this is going to be a very, very good year for hockey. I think that even though it's 56 games, you've got an extended trade deadline to April 12th. In between April 12th and 16th, I think it's one of those days. I'm fairly certain it's the 12th. That's the trade deadline. You've also got the expansion draft this year. Nobody's talking about that. The Seattle Kraken are going to be drafting their team. I want to talk about that as well, like an expansion draft video. I think that'll be a great one as well. I'm excited to do that kind of video. Obviously, there's a lot of guys that people think are going to be put up for the draft. Obviously, the Leafs bringing on Aaron Dell, Michael Hutchinson. One of those guys is going to be going into the draft. That's why you pick up 4 goalies. That's why they picked up those many goalies, because they want to keep Campbell and Freddie. I don't want Freddie. Like, we'll talk about possible trades for the Leafs as well. Possible trades just in general. We'll talk about pickups as well. I'm teeing everybody up for the possible videos. Get excited. This is going to be a great year. This is going to be the year of the Dorm Room Sports Podcast. We're going to be I'm going to try and get some big trades on. I've possibly got another goaltender mentality video that's coming out. That's going to be a big one as well. I'm excited. I'll reveal it a little bit more closer to the date. That's happening next week. I might try and bring Jamie Phillips back on to talk about just goaltending. I just want to get some more interviews going on as well. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Look forward to it, guys. There's a lot of good stuff coming on. It's going to be a big year. There's a lot of hockey. Hockey's finally coming back. Finally, holy smokes. The NWHL is going into their bubble soon. in Salt Lake City. That's going to be a big one too. That's going to be a big, I want to do that video. I'm excited to talk about that tournament because that's going to be sweet. It's going to be a bubble. We're going to see the Toronto Six play. I'm getting people on to talk about that too because that's going to be sick. That is going to be awesome. That team looks so good. Oh my God. Coaching staff is great. The team looks awesome. It's going to be big. They're going to be finally broadcasting the games on NBC. I want TSN or somebody in Canada, Sportsnet. Hopefully, I think it's going to be Sportsnet who's going to be talking about those games as well and reporting on those games because those games are going to be sick to watch because we've got hockey, we've got NHL, we've got the rest of the World Juniors to look forward to. But after the World Juniors, obviously, because the World Juniors are going to be done by next week. You've got the NHL, you've got the NWHL going into their bubble, and that's going to be sick. You've got just hockey. Hockey's back. Hockey is back. Everybody get excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I talked about a lot of random stuff, but I talked about hockey, and it's fun to listen to hockey too. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I will see you all in the next video, which will be next week. Talk to you guys then. Thank you very much.